Tara, such an interesting bio you have, really. So you grew up between Canada and the US, immersed in piano since childhood, and later you started studying criminology
Yeah.
before art before art pulled you in. So when did you realize that music, not law, would become the way of for you to tell your deepest stories?
That's it's so funny because a lot of people are very surprised when they hear about my background in criminology. I think all of that comes from my interest in human rights and um justice is like a big thing for me. I can get very passionate about. I don't know if anybody follows me on Instagram, but I'm like just going crazy with the current politics right now. And I believe that it's important we raise our voices. But yeah, thank you for that question. I think what it was for me was I really didn't know who I was. Like I was just kind of, trying things out. And I tried business and I was horrible at mathematics. So I was trying in university and I was like getting like low marks in math and like calculus and stuff. And then I took one art history class where at UBC in Vancouver, British Columbia, where I'm from, and I got like an A- average, and I was so happy. I was like, "Oh my god,
Wow.
like I can be smart." And
That was
and
it,
then
huh?
yeah, and then right after that, I went to Simon Fraser University,
Right.
thinking I would still go into business, but then I was like, no, okay, just try this one course in criminology.
Hmm.
And criminology was such a cool degree. It was like psychology, sociology, political science, and it was like it opened up my world to like humanity and like why people do the things that they do. You get
Wow.
into the psychological mind of people, like criminals, killers, and but also just like people that have been through the cycle of abuse, the marginalized people. So I got so passionate about it. And then I got into law school and then I took one theater class where I did some theater. And then that was it. I just went like that was the gateway into art. Yeah. So that was it. And my dad was like, "What?" Because my dad is Asian and he had plans. He was like lawyer, like, she's gonna go for all the money and like, the corporate world. And I like didn't. I went like I followed my heart.
No, that's good. That's good.
And yeah, I struggled with that a lot in my life, but now I've come to accept it that it was the right path for me.
That's awesome. And you were already like playing. You were already an accomplished piano player and all that, right? At the time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I played for 10 years as a kid, like since I was 5.
Wow.
And so when I did make the switch, my dad was kind of like also like, yeah, okay, fine. Too. So it was a combo. It's always this fight between being an artist or being a person in regular society, but I feel like being an artist is so important to have in society because if we didn't have artists, then we wouldn't have free speech. We wouldn't have life, we wouldn't have, it is important. An artist is just as important as a lawyer and a doctor.
Hmm.
So,
Right.
Yeah,
Understood.
absolutely.
So, uh, tell me, Tara, during the voting session, I have heard your album Morning Dose of Joshua Tree. So, where I first time actually heard your voice. And then when I was reading about you on your website, the one thing I found very interesting is your multicultural heritage and your early training has actually started in a classical piano. Yet your voice now, it feels more cinematic, yet
Hmm.
deeply personal. So how those early roots shaped the artist you are today?
I think I really owe it to my classical piano teacher.
Mm.
She
Okay.
she taught me formal music similar to yourself, I did read about your background as well in classical music. And I was so happy to read about it because I was like, yay, like, even though I just feel like when I connect with classical musicians, it
Yeah,
feels like home. Like it's like,
yeah,
okay, he knows music. Like,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
I know how to read music. I did 10 years of it. I played piano like to I think grade 8 or 9 conservatory. Um, and then I stopped and then I was like, okay, I guess where my voice and my singing happened, I don't like singing very much. Like I'm not interested so much. It's more like um I just want to get the message across and I'm just using my voice as a way to transfer it over. um, I'm actually very insecure about my voice, and I think a lot of folk singers are. Like I've heard, certain folk singers being like, "Oh, I hate listening to myself." There's parts where I like listening, and then other times I'm just like, "Oh, I'm not a classically trained vocalist."
Mm.
But I know music. I know how to put a composition together. I know how to write music. And I think I think I need to stop being so hard on myself. But yeah, it all came together when I started writing for film and doing my documentaries, and I learned about scripts and storytelling, and getting images across. Because I don't want to bore the person that's listening. I just want to give a lot of images and metaphors in my singing as well. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And but I heard a lot of your stuff as well. Everything you're talking, and I'm asking this just because purely I'm a singer myself. I've been singing for a very long time. I feel when I heard your voice, I think it had its own style. I think you have your own style and it stands out, and that's what I loved about it. So
Thank you.
it didn't to me it felt very fresh, and to me it felt very like this is something. It's you, right? I mean, it's, yeah, you know exactly what you want to say, how you want to say it, the tone and everything, right? So that's what stood out to me. So yeah, I just wanted to
Thank
say that to
you.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the people I always looked up to were like folk singers from the 70s, like Joan Baez, Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan. And those guys all just had their own voice. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like it was like, this is me. And I think there's the pressure of the music industry to be like, so like, I know I'm not a Mariah Carey. I know, like, I'm not a Whitney Houston. Like, and it's
And
not
one doesn't
something
have to be,
I'm
right?
going
And
for.
one doesn't have
Yeah.
to be. I don't think so. I
No,
mean, if
not
you,
not for my genre, I don't think. And
yeah.
and I'm also just like I know my limits. I'm a soprano voice.
Hmm.
Um and it's about the whole piece, like kind of like film in a way. It's like the voice, the tunes, the writing, the production. The production is for me very important.
Right.
Yeah.
That is so important, and especially in what you're doing. And I so resonate with what you're saying. And me and Suraj actually both do. And I like, if I may, I can just give you a little example because, like I said,
Yeah, I
I've
want to hear
learned.
about it.
I'm still learning. I call myself a lifelong learner. So I've learned when it comes to vocals, that's my main instrument, and I've learned Indian classical, but I've also learned Western, and I've been singing different genres. And I've come across a lot of singers, acquaintances, friends, and they're always like so hooked onto a certain style of classical music, right? Whether it's Indian or Western or what have you. And
Yeah.
they're like so kind of, I would say, bound by that in the sense like, oh, this has to be done this way or this has to happen this way. And I feel that then you kind of lose the artist in you, you know, sometimes because you're so bound by these things. And you're always thinking about that. And I'm like, come on, man, sing your heart out. Just sing your soul out, like be yourself, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's so true. That you know what? And that's what's gonna make you distinctive in what you do. I think in the business, a lot of people the I just met this young girl, and she was asking me advice on, the music industry. And I said, like, just follow your own path. Like follow you and don't like people are going to come around and tell you, oh, maybe you should go into this genre or that genre. Like for me, genre has always been like, I'm going to be honest, genre is a very judgmental, like way to put things in. I mean, I understand classical, I understand that genre, but for me, I've always been deemed alternative folk, but I feel like I'm also just alternative. And, I feel like it's, and then my album was on best for Americana. So the
Hmm.
Grammys, originally what happened to me was I submitted as a folk album, and
Mm.
then they changed my category,
Oh.
to best Americana album.
Mm.
So that was also weird too, because I was like, I didn't expect, like, I mean, it was a compliment because
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, Americana, like that's a great genre. But I was originally like, so I'm like, okay, genre is always hard,
Yeah.
you know,
That's awesome.
for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, your work from all your albums, like, I think Hero and the Sage, um, to Her Story, and now Morning Dose of Joshua Tree, right? They move
Yes.
between grief, healing, and spiritual truth. So, how do you approach writing something that holds so much emotional weight?
Um, I mean, it's such an interesting question. I don't, I mean, I always am just, um, I feel like I'm always like trying to help people have kind of reach, like when you go through something painful, like I'm always like, okay, we gotta get past this to go to like a higher level. Like we have to see something like to a higher power or God. People can call it God or a higher power. Um, we have to be hopeful. I mean, when someone passes on to the other side, like I choose not to believe that they're just going to be gone.
Mm.
I believe that they go on to the spirit. Like I'm serious. Like I even like talk to my dog. My dog just died in August, and I'm like, no, maybe the spirit's here. Like I still have hope that, that when the people die, that those people are still there. Like I really want to hold on to the spirit world. And I believe that we are all connected, but I believe that we are connected to, there is a higher goodness, and
Mm.
there are spirits around that are, guiding us, loving us. We need to tap into that. So I'm always trying to bring it into my music because, um, you know, elements of nature and God are connected for me, and I just want to always like give people that hope. I'm gonna point out some truths in life, like here on the stage, for instance. That song, it was great. It was picked up for Biden's inauguration,
Oh,
for
I saw that.
promoting,
Yeah.
yeah, for promoting face masks. And I wrote that song for actually a friend who in Berlin who was a nurse at the time. And the chorus is, we must believe that we must make a change. We got to believe that we got to make a change. Even though you don't want to believe it, even though deep down some people are like, oh, this world sucks, you have to somehow believe that we gotta like push ourselves. So
Mm.
that's kind of like how I feel with the music too. And Morning Doves of Joshua Tree, it's like the morning doves were coming, and people were saying like morning doves are spirits of, people from the other side are sending spirits messages through the animals, like through the morning doves. And so that was right when my grandmother died. So when I was washing the dishes and I was looking up at morning doves, and I felt like it was a message from my grandmother that everything is okay. So, I mean, you're in India. I feel like there's a lot of mystical connections. I feel like the culture of mysticism is very important to look at the signs. The signs are always coming to you,
Mm.
and for writing, for me, it's like, okay, what am I seeing next? What sign is God trying to tell me? Like, what's God trying to tell me? what are the spirits trying to tell me? Or like the animals, like, what does this mean? Like, so I think building a colorful world is important. Because it can be boring. Like people can see life as boring,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know? But then imagine if you just like walked around and like you just noticed something, like you picked up a penny and then you're like, whoa. And then you just put that into a song. Like, you know, I picked up a penny and I thought about my grandfather. Or, you know, writing can be easy. You just, it's all like right in front of you, like just the images.
yeah.
And yeah.
You know, it's so amazing you said all that. I have a couple of things. We'll come to the song in a second, but I so relate to you when you said, you know, about your dog and how you know, your grandfather and everything, right? Because I lost my dog a couple of years ago, 3 years ago almost now, and I still talk to him every day.
Aw.
We have another dog now who we believe
Yeah.
that has been sent by this dog
By him.
or
Yeah.
by him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I talked to even my mom and dad have passed away, and my older brother passed away. So I talked to these four people, like my mom, dad, my brother, and my dog, every day, literally every day, and not once. I talk to them several times a day. I
And
just
do you feel them? Do you feel them when you do?
yeah,
Like,
I feel
you feel
they're
there?
watching. I feel they're watching constantly, and they're constantly there. And I think I've just taken one thing from the morning and everything, right? I mean, the good memories and all that, right? One thing I've taken is like I believe in karma a lot, and I feel that you know I'm thriving every day to become a better individual, like than what I was yesterday, because I know they're watching over me, and I don't want to disappoint them. All four of them. That's how I
Yes.
kind of look at life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so
That's
amazing. It's touching.
beautiful.
It's touching when
Thank
you
you for
said that
sharing
too.
that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like not alone. Like, I feel like, you
No.
know, I'm going to think of your family around you now. Like, I'm just like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So, you know, tell us, you know, for the viewers who are going to be watching this too, the song that you talked about that was picked up for the Biden during the Biden time. Can you tell us more, elaborate a little more on that, like how it came about and how it got, if I may say, selected, or how
Yeah.
you submitted it? You know, that would be great.
Yeah. Well, I have a sync agent and in Canada. I'm originally from Canada, so in Montreal. And at the time, I was actually, weirdly enough, I was pregnant at the time, and I just had found out about my twins.
Mm.
And then I got a call saying, like, I talk about, you know, spiritual moment, because it was like, because I was creating inside myself and because I was on a higher power of vibration, maybe, then maybe it attracted something really cool out of nowhere. So basically
Hmm.
it came out of nowhere. It was like, yeah, the Biden and the Biden's campaign for nurses wants to use your song for their to promote them wearing masks during COVID.
Hmm.
And so I wrote the song for a nurse in Berlin, inspired about the world. Michaela, he's a friend of mine, and he works in a nursing place in Berlin for alcoholics.
Mm.
And so I saw him one day and he looked so depressed, and he was drinking and he was hanging out with some, you know, kind of messed up guy. And so it just hurt my heart when I saw him. And so the lines are like, you know, it's going to be okay. You're my friend. Just believe that, you know, we can make a change, you know, cause I feel like the whole song is just about like, you know, it's the world is so down, but we
Mm.
just believe that we can make a change. So yeah, that's what happened. And it was great. It's probably one of my most famous moves was that song. And it was on my debut album. So it was super
Amazing.
stripped down, simple. Like it was just guitar and vocals. That's it. Like
Wow.
nothing
That's
else.
awesome. I mean, it was
Yeah.
definitely written for a good cause, but were you super excited about it for being used by
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm like, I always liked Biden. Like
yeah.
like I don't want to, as much as people say, don't get political. I always like Joe Biden. I've always liked Joe Biden. I always thought he was a good guy, a lot better than who we have right now. I think
Okay.
anybody's better than that person, that
Okay.
thing in the office right now. So yeah, like Biden was a wonderful person in my eyes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's
That's
it. Yeah, it was very exciting.
that's great. Actually, when I heard your album, The Morning Dose of Joshua Tree, so actually, Sandeep used to tell me a lot about the place of Joshua Tree, the desert. Like, I remember when Sandeep went there and he called me on a video and he was sharing, like, how cold is this place? Like, it's so cold. So, when I heard your album, the first thing came into my mind is that the desert of the Joshua Tree, it's become more of a physical and emotional landscape for your record. So
Hmm.
during that time, what did that stillness of Joshua Tree has taught you, and what you felt about it that you feel more of a, you can say, worth singing about?
Yeah. I mean, the Joshua Tree community out there is very artistic. Um, you know, the open, vast space, the stillness. It's very clean also in the desert. You know, if you take your hand on the sand and you pick it up, it's like it just like falls out. It's like clean, it's like still, it's like quiet. And then there's the struggle of the plants, you know, like the Joshua trees are um, going kind of, they're pretty much going extinct because of climate change, but there's a lot of them still. And the cactuses and the rough weather of the desert can get very hot, can also be cold. And obviously no water, there's no like lakes or ocean around, so there's like a struggle for water. Um, so it's a like they say like the desert is like a holy land too.
Mm.
Like Jesus and Mary and Joseph walked through the desert, you know. It's a very holy place. Paramahansa Yogananda, who I'm a follower of,
Mm.
he had ended up at the end because he had some facilities in Los Angeles. He ended up in the desert um, because there's just something about it that you feel very connected to the sky, the stars. You feel like the sky and the stars is coming very close. You can see the planets closer. Um, yeah, it's really cool space.
It
Yeah.
is. It is for sure. I mean, I've been there a couple times, and it's just so nice to go there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's beautiful.
But I
You,
love Oceanside though. The what a great
oh,
community. It's a
you
great
should.
community. I wish I would. I've always wanted to get something out there, but
Have you seen it recently? It's really become nice.
I haven't been there in a while, but I've gone several times and I love it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
grew
You
up
should come.
here. Yeah, yeah,
If you're ever
definitely.
down, let me know. If you're ever down, let me know because our downtown now
Yes.
is so nice, and it's so homely, and they've done it so well now. It's not like what
Wow.
it used to be like 15 years ago. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oceanside
Cool.
downtown, especially. Yeah, yeah. It's really they've got resorts, and it's still very family oriented. Very, very
Yes. Yeah.
family oriented. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tara, moving on, your music, it blends folk, indie, Americana, and in cinematic elements. So when you hear your own songs back, what do you hope listeners feel before they even understand the words?
Well, that's a good question. I'm always like, I want people to get a visual vibe of everything. I feel like I
Hmm.
want them to feel the cinematic vibes of it and feel kind of like a world, like an ambiance, a world. I'm not so focused on um getting a point across. I just want to invite them very lightly. very lightly in, and I think I like to. A lot of my music is I want people to feel chill
Hmm.
and like relaxed, and because I like chill and relaxed music. So I like kind of like I like instrumental music a lot.
Hmm.
So for me, I kind of wanted to just keep that, and then my voice on top of giving this world and the message across. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely, like, I heard a lot of your songs. And one thing, one thing immediately, not only that, like I told you earlier, the style of singing and how it was you clearly knew what you wanted to yourself to sound like and everything, and it kind of blended very nicely with the storytelling and everything. Not only that, the other aspect that really, I don't know, Suraj, probably you feel the same way, but because we are both very visual people, what stood out to me in all your videos that were made is they're very, it got a nice cinematic kind of tone and feel and everything to it. So that was really nice. And they were all, like, all of them, when I was watching them, some of them also felt like nostalgic in a way.
Thank
And
you. That's what I
yeah.
want to give.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you feel like California at all when you listened to it?
Yes,
Yes.
100%. Yes.
Yes.
And more SoCal.
Cool. I like that. I love that you feel that because you're from Oceanside, so that
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
me
yeah,
love that. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
yeah.
That's extremely validating.
No, it's no, your work is really beautiful. Like, we love it. Whatever the way you're creating with this emotional landscape. Tara,
Thank you.
your new album, when I heard it, I felt it was shaped in the quiet aftermath of, you can say, loss and the rhythms of motherhood. So, how did emotions like a grief and a joy, this sometimes both at the same time, reshape your music?
Grief
But
and joy.
yeah,
Yeah. Good question. So smart. You guys are you're refreshing. I feel like a lot of the time it's like talking to, most people in society are not really tuned in. So thank you for being awakened to what I'm trying to do. So yeah, grief and joy, uh, it's definitely interchangeable. I think there's a oneness, that, a level of consciousness that we have to stay at, and like being sad and going through grief and life is just also part of what you have to do. Like, we will be sad, you will be sad, you're gonna have to go through this. So go through this, and then but then also experience life, like, and try to go forward in life.
Hmm.
Try to go forward and enjoy every little thing that you have. I look out and I see my yard, and it's so green, and I'm like, oh my God, it's like that's what's keeping me this is keeping me here, is like that green backyard, like just life, like that we're still here. And I believe that because we're here, it's like it can be hard being here. But then it's also so amazing to be here. Like, I think it's like a yin and the yang. It's like both. You have It's like my husband always says, it's 50-50. Like, if you go down like the line of like, oh, this is all bad, then you're just gonna go all bad. But then if you go all good and you think everything's good, then you're delusional, because it's not, as I know with my criminology degree, and, the stuff that's going on in the world right now, currently, with our government and the Epstein files, that stuff is dark. Like, that
Hmm.
is dark, evil shit that is
Hmm.
like, horrible. You're always going to have this evilness and
Hmm.
darkness
There's
in
both
life.
sides. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
everything. Yeah.
and so you have to say, okay, and then you see it, and then you're like, okay, what side are you on? You're going to be on the good side. You're going to be on the good side. You're going to fight that darkness. You're going to do good karma, like you said. You have to, like, fight that evil, dark depression on a daily basis, you know? And so I feel like my album and my songs are that. I feel like every single song is like, okay, I hope I can bring something out to just like level out, you know, the other side of the darker things, you know, let
Mm-hmm.
whatever work that I'm bringing, I hope that I just contribute to like, I know I'm contributing like so many other artists like yourselves to just try to bring up the lightness, and that lightness will help. It's going to help as much as we think, oh, is it helping? The energy is going to the world and God, and then the good things are going to happen and we can fight those bad things, if that all
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
No, that's really interesting. The one thing I agree with you, like we as an artist, we go through many emotions, and eventually we learn this very rare skill of channeling our own emotions in our instrument or the art, we can say.
Mm-hmm.
So, but one thing I would like to know about from you, like most of the artists, we stay on a one side of emotions, like either it's on a melancholy side or it's more of a, you can say, dancing or the happy side. But
Yes.
when you, these two opposite emotions, the grief and joy, how you combine these emotions together? Like it's a very rare thing which
Oh,
I saw in your music.
Mm-hmm.
grief and joy. Well, I guess the only way I can get through a song is like, um, I feel like there's joy in accepting, saying what is that you're sad about, or what are the things, like, for instance, the song I wrote, I Closed the Door. I wrote that song because I was cleaning out a shed and I was picking up all these like things that people have given to me. And sometimes the relationships I had with that, so for instance, let's just say my mother-in-law, we at one point had a great relationship and she gave me this beautiful scarf. And I remember I found that scarf in the shed, and I remembered, that was when we were good. Like, I remember,
Mm.
like, that was a good time. We had a good time back then. And then I think about it and I'm like, okay, well, we don't have that anymore, you know, because I had kids and it got a little bit weird, a little intense for her. And, you know, it's funny when you have kids, it's like parents can be like different towards you after. And so the dynamic changed. So there's some grief. I had to grieve the relationship I had with her. But then at the end, I'm like, at the end, I walk away from all of it and I say, this is the beauty of life.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is staying. Nothing is staying. Things are always changing, you know? And so we have to be able to like take it in and then let go, take it in and then let go, take it in and then let go. Yeah. So that's the only kind of analogy I can give.
Wow.
That's
No.
beautiful.
Right.
That's really, really beautiful. You've also been part of so many creative communities, right, including the Recording Academy. So, how do these artistic communities help sustain creativity, especially during uncertain or challenging times?
Yeah, I mean the community, I this year I've become so into community. I realize how important community is. I used to be more of an isolated person, especially writing and stuff. And then after I had my kids, I was like, okay, that I felt like I connect with the mothers and family and friends more. And then I realized as a musician, okay, I need to have some structure. I need a community because I had a community for recovery where if you want to go talk with your problems, like I was part of a group. I met with like 60 people and we all went around and talked about, what we're going through. And I felt like, okay, I need to find this for my music. And the Recording Academy is that. The
Mm.
community there is, I'm like so lucky to meet such amazing people right now. I've kind of blown away. Everybody is so wonderful. Yeah.
That is awesome. That is awesome. It's always good to have good peers around who lift you, right?
Yeah, I mean, meeting you guys, like, I mean, like I said, it's like I want to meet you guys, like, and just this meeting right now is like so lovely, and I really appreciate that, like, so much.
Well, thank you. We're so honored to have you. I mean, it's
Same.
when we decided to do this, I mean, it just came from the heart. Because it's the love for not only music but every art form, and we both have that background too. So it just what we are trying to do over here is truly coming from a place of, um, just love for our all art forms and respect for
Yeah.
artists who are true to their art forms.
Yes. So you guys are pretty selective of who you pick, right? And
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly, and
yeah.
Exactly.
also it has to be original artwork. It can be music, it could be anything. So you'll see a lot more different guests come in the future.
I'm excited.
you know, Tara, your work as a filmmaker and a musician intersects with activism, culture, and storytelling. So how do you think art can be vessel for a social change, and what responsibility does an artist carry when their work speaks to transformation?
So funny. I always like, it's funny. When somebody asks a question, I think of like a memory that
Mhm.
happened. And I remember I did this film. It's called I Met a Man from Burma. And I helped, he was a refugee, a Karen refugee, from Burma
Mm,
at the time. And he was in Canada and he was awaiting his citizenship for over 10 years and they wouldn't give him his citizenship
mm,
because he was part of the Karen military, which he was forced to do. So I did this documentary on him, and he very much reminded me of my own father in many ways because he's an Asian guy, older man. And when I did the documentary, I screened it in many festivals, and I walked out, and then this like young girl came up to me, and she just like started crying, and she was like, "Thank you so much!" Like it was just so like, and she just was so like touched by his humanity. And that really hit me. I was like, whoa, I didn't know that I was gonna do that. And I think that's why I was saying that like it's very important that we have artists in this world. And that we promote artists because we need artists to give society hope and help. You can go to a psychologist, yes, you can go to a doctor and lawyer and blah blah, but you need artists and we need to be upheld. And I think in the immigrant community, in our Asian community, a lot of our parents are like, well, why are you not, do this. It's like,
yeah.
well, you know that we need to promote this as Americans and as being part of like a civilized society because
Hmm.
in certain countries, they were killing artists back in the day because artists were actually the most powerful people. They
Hmm.
spoke out the truth. They helped even, the painters would, Michelangelo was even protesting in what he was drawing. They couldn't
Hmm.
stop him like in the Vatican and like it was in a church. And he's like he's like drawing the political situation, and they don't know it, but then later on the people are looking at it and going, "Oh man, that was really what was going on." There was a lot of suppression that was happening. So, yeah, I think that's how it feels for me.
That's
That's
that's really
great.
great.
That's nice. The way you think, I really like, and I feel again, I've said this before, and I'm not just saying it for the sake of saying, but after listening to your stuff, everything you're saying, it's I can see where it's coming out. Right, it's in your art. It comes out. Um, it's very. I had a fun time listening to it, to be honest with you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'll tell you, don't get bogged down into the whole I'm not a singer or anything. I think you've developed your own style and keep up to it.
Thank you. That helped me. Thank you. Yeah, it's like because I wasn't formally trained.
That's That's
You
okay.
know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
okay. And
yeah,
this is
I
coming from
know. I
this is
know.
coming from someone who's been singing for a very long time, like for since '92, and you know, I've been around enough trained singers. That's why I always use the word training. I don't feel
Okay.
I've trained enough. I feel like every day is a learning process. But then no,
Yes.
someone can sing something so simple,
Yeah.
right? And yet say something so amazing. Talking about the Joshua Tree, let me give you an example. You know, I had done a cover song once just for fun. I mean, it's not, I don't sound like John Lennon or anything. No, this
Yeah.
was Julian Lennon. This was his son, Julian Lennon's song called Saltwater. And
Okay.
so when I went to Joshua Tree, I had called him and I just I gave my wife my iPhone and I was like, yeah, just let me play this song and I'll just, I had recorded it and I'm like,
So
let
cool.
me play my track and I just
I
sang it.
love it.
But it just reminded me of the Joshua Tree. But why I'm saying this is because if you listen to that song, it's such a simple song. He's singing it so it's simple, right? It's like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
nothing like he's not going crazy high or lows
Yeah.
or he's not doing anything vocally. He's not doing, but the message and the way he sung it, and
It's how
there's
he's
so many to name like that, right? There's so many
yeah.
songs to name like that, but the message and the
Yeah.
lyrics and everything. So I think you should keep up to that.
Thank you.
You're doing a great job.
I'm just recording one right now, so you're giving me like the inspiration. So thank you.
That's great. That's great.
No, that's great. Yeah.
You've also you've honored female folk pioneers on
Mhm.
her story, and now your own spiritual journey of Morning Dose of Joshua Tree. So, what do you feel is the most enduring message you want your music to leave for listeners?
Um, I mean, I feel like after I die, like maybe the entire world will hear me more. But I feel like I feel like I'm one of many of I very much resonate with the singers from the 70s.
Mm,
Like from the like Joan Baez, for instance. I resonate with her because she has also a degree. I think she has a degree in political science. Also Pete Seeger also, he has a degree. And so in the 70s, they were like protesting against war and
mm,
like the Vietnam War. And
mm.
they also just sang like off the cuff. They didn't care because they just wanted to get the message across. And, while singing, of course, cool stuff, but like their main purpose was that. Same with Bob Marley. Like when you hear Bob Marley, it's like he was fighting a battle.
Yeah.
He was fighting for his people. And I think when people listen to my music, I just want people to know that, I was trying.
Hmm.
I was really just trying to help. I was just trying to help the current world that we're living in, and I wanted to try to help people, like the psychological mind of people, whatever. I just want to let people relax a little bit. Just it's going to be okay. I want to give people a little bit of lightness and a little bit of hope.
That's nice. And
Yeah.
while in your songwriting process, do you kind of like, does it really come just naturally, or are these things that you've seen or lived or experienced or what's going around? Is it all of that coming together? It's like, this is what I want to say.
I think it's so funny. I mean, I'm a Capricorn. That's my sign. So I'm very focused and regimented. So it's like, okay, well, I'm recording right now, I'm performing right now, or I'm writing right now.
Got it.
And so if I'm in my writing, whatever, I could write forever if somebody was like, okay, just be a writer, but then nobody would hear my music. So, but I not if I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write now and I have absolutely nothing, then I just turn it on. Like I turn it on and I start becoming like some crazy mystic. I become like a crazy mystic and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like this sounds good. And I start grabbing stuff. Like I grab stuff from, music that I like, or I'll grab like a tune. And I remember I went for acupuncture and I was listening to this classical music laying down, and this tune kept coming back over and over, and I just grabbed that. And or I write with like drums, so if I write with my guitar and my drums, so like I turn off the beat now, because before it was like, here on the stage, my first album was just like guitar. But now I'm like, okay, I need something more. So I need beats, I need drums, I need like some energy. Um, there was a point in my, I toured with a band and everything, and I'm familiar with all the musicians in a band. And by the end of like being with the band so long, I really enjoyed the drummer the most.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because the drummer kept everything together and drove everything. It kept me going at the end. I think that's what happened with Stevie Nicks too. Like Stevie Nicks started to be like totally into Mick Fleetwood, because at the end the drummer is is very important. It's like the guitarist, but the drummer is driving the performance. So now what I do is I just go with the beat, and it's like a metronome anyways. So I just go with that, and then I just go with my guitars and I just fiddle around.
Nice.
And then I just find like I mean, of course, I make a decision on what I'm going to write.
Right.
So, for instance, I'm writing a song, um, which is about, children and war and no war. So I'm just like, okay, I want to write something about that. So, I think a main concept should start first. Start with the concept of what you want to write about, and then just go from there. And that's how it goes for me.
Nice. Very nice.
So as you said, you go on different instruments to write something. So you just mentioned about drums. So you play drums also?
I don't. I just have like my box here that I click the different kinds of drums.
Okay.
So I just play beats.
Got it.
And then I get my guitar and I start to riff with the beat. And then of course, like the chorus is the first and most important thing I start with first.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
You actually reminded me of one of our greatest singer of our human generation, Don Henley, the singer and the drummer of our Eagles.
Oh, thank you.
For me, in my lifetime, he was the first guy I saw who was singing and playing drums at the same time. So,
oh God, yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah, actually, you're right. I think when I saw the Eagles way back, I mean, not in person, but when I was little, when I saw the song, and I'm like, oh my God, the drummer is singing, and I actually had that same thing as a kid.
I gotta see this. Yeah. I mean, I think the beat is it's like a heartbeat, and again, it's like it's like your tempo, so you need it anyways, and it's like your click. It's like your click anyways. So, but yeah, that's how what's doing for me right now. It's weird because I come from a piano background, and you'd think I would be with my piano, but I'm totally not. It's totally the guitar.
No, it's actually a good thing because you are a filmmaker. You produced your own music videos. You play guitar. You have come from a piano background. So it reminds me of I read a lot of philosophical stuff. So one of a guy who I admire in today's generation is Naval Ravikant, if you have heard about him. So he says that one thing, like I used to think like in my younger age, like, okay, I'll become master of this instrument, I'll become the greatest pianist or greatest guitarist in the world. But eventually I got to learn from this guy is like the person who can connect multiple dots together, which it makes him irreplaceable. So like
multiple thoughts, you're saying?
Yeah, like you are a powerhouse yourself. Like you know how to produce your own music videos. You know how to play guitar. You know how to play pianist. So your music and is become irreplaceable. Like you are the
Thank you.
one of a
Thank
kind.
you guys. Yeah, well, you guys are doing amazing stuff too.
Right.
So I just love to connect with fellow talented musicians as well. So thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
likewise.
No, looking ahead, Tara, as a creator, a mother, and a storyteller, what's chapter you haven't written yet? Something you are still reaching forward.
Oh, millions of dollars from music.
Okay.
I mean, I think I feel like one chapter. I mean, I'm really happy where I'm at right now. I would like to do a tour. I've never done like a tour. I played in California at some amazing venues like the Troubadour. I've played twice in my life, and those were the most career moments ever. And I played in, across Canada and the US and some in Germany, but I would love to do a Europe tour. I'm just waiting for my kids to grow up a little bit, to become bigger. They're 4 now.
Okay.
So I'm thinking when they're like 8, I can like then, if they want to come and I do like a 2-week kind of thing, then they would be able to come with me because I'm very attached to my kids. Like, I involve them in my life very strongly. So they're just as my sons are like just as important to me as my music. Like they go 2 and 2. So like when I was like going to the Grammys events, like as soon as I got back from the Grammys events, I was like, mom time. Like we're going out, like taking you shopping, like what do you need? Like I'm like committed to them as my music. So yeah, balancing both worlds is like always tough, but I think to be a mother and an artist is a beautiful thing because my kids they become naturally creative. Like I do stuff with them. They hear my music, they do arts and crafts, they have an open mind, they create ideas. So I think it's fun for them.
That's great what you're doing. So, really, thank you so much, Tara, for spending this time with us. Like, we really appreciate the openness and the care and the honesty you bring to your music and your storytelling.
Thank
It's
you
really
so
great.
much. You guys were wonderful interviewers, and I really appreciate your questions, and my art is thanking you right now because it needs some love. So
This conversation is really a reminder of how art can hold grief, healing, and transformation, sometimes all at once, right? So thank you so
yes,
much again.
yes, thank you guys.
And to everyone who is listening to us today, thank you so much for being here with us. Please check out Tara Beier's work on Spotify, Apple, Instagram. Make sure to follow her and show us some love. And don't forget to join our community on a Discord. It's called A Century of Frozen Souls. You can check the link in the description. And don't forget to share this episode with someone who you love. And we will see you in the next episode of Artist Conversation.
Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you, Tara.
Thank you.
Thank you.